Hey mamas, it's your girl Carrie, and welcome back to Mom Life Career Life, your safe space to breathe deep, dream big, and live on purpose. Today we're talking about something so many of us need to get better at: saying no. That tiny little word that holds such big power, because when you say no with confidence, you create space for what truly matters. And you protect your peace, your time, and most importantly, your sanity. And if you've ever felt like you just don't know how to say no or how to do it without sounding rude or feeling guilty, you're totally not alone. And that's exactly why I created my free guide, Boundaries Made Simple. It's packed with real life scripts, mindset shifts, and gentle reminders to help you speak up for your time, your energy, and your priorities. The link is in the show notes. And along with that guide and this episode, it's going to be a game changer for you. So let's jump in. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of moms have a hard time with: saying no. And I really wanted to cover this today because I'm sure a lot of you are feeling really burnt out by all the end of year school stuff, class parties, the teacher gifts, the field days, the stepping up, the graduations, the recitals, the award ceremonies. And while it's all exciting stuff, it's so draining, and not just physically, but really emotionally. And with summer kicking off, I really want you to take this break to slow down and be so intentional about where you're focusing your energy, because I promise you, if you think or thought the toddler years flew by, I'm telling you now, and I know you don't want to hear it, the older they get, the faster the time goes. It's almost not fair. And I really don't want you to ever look back and regret that you didn't spend enough time in the important things. And if you really work on this over the summer, you are going to be so primed and ready to be so intentional on what you're saying yes and no to when the fall comes around. It takes time, it takes practice, and it really takes a mindset that you're not being selfish. You're being intentional. And that's what I really want to drive home on this podcast. I've done a lot of self-work and mindset work to become so clear on what my values are. And now that Ashley is officially a senior in high school, let the tears flow. You better believe that this year my boundaries are going to be stronger than ever. I am not missing out on a single opportunity to spend time with her or make a memory with her, and all of my kids, of course. But being that she's the first one to fly out of the nest, that's why I mention her a lot. But it's really all of them, because I know time is going to fly by so fast for all of them. So let's talk about how to say no confidently at work, at home, and in life. And we're starting with number 1: be clear and direct. I want you to say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't beat around the bush or leave room for any confusion. For example, if a coworker asks you to take part of their project on and you're already overloaded, say, I don't have the bandwidth to take that on right now. It's clear, it's respectful, it leaves no gray area. Or if your manager asks you to take on an additional task and it's something that you can't say no to, say something like, okay, but here are the other things I'm working on. Which ones can I move down on the priority list? So that way you're bringing it to their attention that you have a lot on your plate and you're going to prioritize what they're asking you to do, but that everything can't be a priority. And that's something I just had to do. I have this big project I'm working on at work, but I got tasked with another project that has a pretty tight deadline, and I'm not burning myself out trying to figure out how to do it all in a short time frame. So I was very upfront. I was very honest. And if you're clear and direct with your manager, they should be understanding and either be able to get you additional support or extend the deadline on the other things you're working on. And this is the same idea outside of work. If someone's asking for your time and it's not something that aligns with your priorities right now, or you don't actually have the bandwidth, be clear and direct with them, but also be respectful, which brings us to number 2. Use a polite tone. Your delivery really makes all of the difference. Try to use a warm, respectful tone, even when your answer is no. Let's say your neighbor asks you to host the next PTA fundraiser. Try saying, thank you for asking, but that's not something I can commit to right now, but I really appreciate you thinking of me. This keeps the relationship strong while also setting those boundaries. I've even used, I'm really flattered you thought of me, but I just can't take on anything else right now. It softens the no without bending your boundaries. And the same at work. You might be so overwhelmed with whatever is already on your plate that when you get asked to do yet another thing before you can even finish the other 20 things on your plate, your frustration level might be super high. So make sure you take that deep breath or even walk away if you have to before you respond to your coworker or speak to your manager, because you don't want to sound over emotional in your response and have it come off the wrong way. Number 3, avoid over-explaining. And I'm so guilty on this one. I used to feel like I need to give a full explanation of why I couldn't volunteer or why I couldn't attend something so that the person on the receiving end would be more understanding of why I had to say no. And if they're a close friend or a family member and you feel it's appropriate to share, then you totally can. But I'm telling you now, you don't owe anyone a detailed schedule breakdown. Over-explaining often invites room for negotiation or those guilt trips. So try something like this. If someone asks you to join a volunteer committee and it's not a fit, just a simple, I'm sorry, but I'm already committed during that time, or I have something going on that night is more than enough. One clear line and just let it be. Number 4, use I statements. Center the conversation around your perspective and choices, not the other person's request. Instead of you're asking too much, say, I need to focus on my family this weekend, or I'm sorry, I have a conflict this weekend. This keeps it respectful and avoids unnecessary conflict. One of my girlfriends planned an awesome girls' night out, but I was already maxed out. So I simply said, I've had a jam-packed calendar and I just need a quiet weekend to reset and spend some time with my kids. But I hope you had the best time. I probably would have had a great time if I went, but it was more time away from my kids, and I really just knew that my body needed that downtime, and she completely understood. Did I get a little FOMO looking at the pictures? Absolutely, but I was rested, and I had no regrets. Number 5, offer alternatives if it feels right. If you want to help, but you truly can't, it's totally okay to offer another way. For example, if a friend asks you to help them move and you're unavailable, you could say, I can't be there Saturday, but I'm happy to help you pack a few boxes Thursday night if you're open. Or even suggest a moving company or other support. You're not abandoning them, you're offering them what's within your capacity. Or if you know someone else that wouldn't mind jumping in your place, see if you can help by finding someone else. I'm on the executive committee of a charity, and we do this huge event every year that raises over $1 million a year for organ donations, transplant research, and training. And this year I had some medical stuff going on that required me to really slow down, which is super hard for me. I'm in charge of the volunteers for the night, and it's a really big deal. And as much as I really wanted to go to the event, I just couldn't. But instead of pushing myself, I found someone else that could help on the night of, but I did all the work leading up to the event. So I still felt like I did my part, and I didn't leave them high and dry. And it was still a successful night. I felt terrible missing it because it's so near and dear to my heart. Russ's dad was an organ recipient, and it was through someone donating a liver that gave us 10 great years with him. He was able to see us get married. He was able to meet Ashley and Kaylee. He unfortunately passed away when I was pregnant with Michael, and Michael is actually named after him. But my point is, I could have pushed myself to go to the event, but I had to listen to my body and prioritize my health, and getting someone to stand in my place and not putting it on someone else to find someone else to step in allowed me to stay home without the guilt. And side note, if you are not an organ donor, I highly encourage you to sign up. It is the absolute greatest gift you can give someone. Number 6, practice confidence. Saying no really takes courage, especially when you're so used to people pleasing and saying yes. But practice helps. And I know this may sound silly and you'll feel stupid the first time you're doing it, but stand in front of a mirror and say, thanks, but I'll have to pass. Role play with a friend. The more often you hear yourself say it, the more natural it becomes when it counts. I used to rehearse responses before work meetings where I knew I'd be asked to stay late. I'd come up with different scenarios of what I thought my manager would say and what my response is going to be. That practice changed everything. And if the request comes through in a text and you can give a written response, a little tip, use ChatGPT. Type up the scenario, tell ChatGPT exactly what you're being asked to do. Like, I'm being asked to volunteer for an event and I hate saying no, but I'm really busy. Can you write a response that's respectful and heartfelt saying, I'm sorry, but I can't? And see what it comes up with. You can even ask it to tweak certain parts if it really doesn't sound like something you would say. And you'd be surprised what it comes up with. You can do the same for work. You can ask it to come up with a response to requests that you really want to respectfully decline. Number 7, stay firm. Sometimes no needs repeating. If someone's pushy, calmly restate your boundary. For example, if your boss asks you to work late again and you've already said no, you could say, I understand it's a busy season, but I already have a commitment that I can't miss and I'm not available after hours. Even if the commitment is spending time with your family or not missing tucking your kids into bed. It goes back to that you don't have to give an explanation. If they ask what commitment is, you can say it's personal. I had this person that I was their go-to anytime they needed help with anything. And this was for a group outside of work. She knew that I was reliable, and if this group tasked me with anything, that I would do it, and I would do it really well. And it was really hard for me to say no, especially when she volunteered so much of her time and she was a working mom of kids too. But she could be a little pushy, so I had to get really firm. And if this is something you struggle with, you can always go back to tip number 5 and offer an alternative. Number 8, manage your body language. Nonverbal cues really matter, so keep your posture tall, make eye contact, and stay still. If you're declining a request in person, like your kid's teacher asking you to lead another classroom event, stand confidently and smile while saying, "That sounds like a great idea, but I'm going to have to say no this time." Even your tone and your eye contact reinforce your decision without being cold. And the same at work. Confidence really makes such a difference when you're communicating boundaries, especially if you don't have an empathetic manager. Number 9, prepare in advance. If you know a big ask is coming, like a friend who always wants a favor on short notice, have a response ready. Jot it down in your notes app if you need to. Like, I love helping when I can, but I need more notice. I won't be able to swing it this week. Being prepared reduces that panic and that pressure of the moment. And the same at work. It's okay to say, I really can't stay late this week. I need a little bit of notice so I can rearrange things. Again, a detailed explanation isn't required, but if it's something like, I have to get my kids from daycare by a certain time, so I need more time in advance to ask someone else to pick them up or coordinate with my husband. I've also been very upfront with all of my managers of what I can do and what I cannot do. And I've also shared previously that I switch roles within my company in order to be able to have those better boundaries. I used to be a property manager where I was on call 24/7, and during budget season, there were times I would be at work until midnight to meet deadlines. And although I really did love my job and I enjoyed the work and my team, it really didn't allow me to show up as the mom I wanted to be. So I had to make that change. So keep that in mind as you're trying to create these boundaries. Some roles require you to be very loose with your boundaries. And if that is part of your job description, then your manager may not be that flexible, especially during busy seasons. But if you know a busy season is coming up, you could also better prepare for it. And last, number 10, remember your priorities. When you're really clear on what matters most, it's a lot easier to say no to what doesn't. Your peace, your rest, your time with your kids, and I cannot stress this enough, your health. You cannot show up as the best version of yourself in all areas of life you want to if you're not making your health a top priority. And I say this as I have 27 wires attached to my head right now so that my neurologist can figure out why I've been getting so dizzy out of nowhere. So think of each no as a yes to your core priorities. If you're asked to travel for a work event, but you've blocked that time for your daughter's recital, your answer becomes much easier. You simply say, I have an after-work commitment that week that I cannot miss, so I won't be able to make it. You deserve to protect your energy like it's a limited resource, because it is. Tomorrow is not promised, and you are never going to get back that time. And especially when it comes to work, if you left tomorrow, they would replace you in a heartbeat. And I've seen so many people over the years make sacrifices for their jobs only to get laid off or overlooked time and time again for a promotion. So protect your time and spend it where it matters. And remember, you don't need to earn the rest. You don't have to justify your boundaries. And let's keep showing up for the life we're building and get really good at saying no to things that don't align. If this episode hit home, I would be so blessed if you could share it with a friend who needs help setting those boundaries too. And I'd love to hear what you're saying no to this week. So head on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. And who knows, maybe you will inspire another mama just like you to start saying no too. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Life Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Life Career Life with Carrie Pat.